Oh, son, what's good, my boy? Title of this video might be a little bit jarring to some of people, but let me coherently try to entertain this idea to you a little bit further. Whenever I first started, scrap that, my whole life I've pretty much always been like little inklings of me really liking art, whether it be like a little short week-long period of me fucking around with like a beat on FL Studio with my friends in high school, or discovering like Tame Impala for the first time, or some crazy music. It's always just like fascinated me and just like gripped me in. But the environment I grew up in, as well as different variables, had always made it hard for me to take a jump into something or spend a majority of my time doing something that other people looked at as kind of soft. They looked at as kind of weird, kind of out of the norm. And the people I always saw growing up, or like the kids in class who would be drawing pictures. Like, I like doing that shit too, but I always, in my head and in my friend group and in where I was raised, it was like, oh, what the fuck, you ain't gonna get on the Call of Duty today, you ain't gonna get on this, you ain't gonna do all that, you gonna fucking be a fag. I mean, it's pretty blunt. It's not politically correct in this day and age, but I think people understand what I'm saying here. That's always the sentiment. And especially nowadays, because you see a lot of the creative type people, there are a lot more of these like sensitive artists, where like Rick Rubin, he talks about they have like these antennae to receive the way that they make their art. They receive this shit from somewhere unknown, and they start crafting songs and all this crazy shit. They also are more sensitive of a person. And I've always been that way, but I've put up these walls. Now, to take a complete 180 with this, about 2 years ago, whenever I first started like getting my life in order, not just fucking off doing shit that didn't matter, but I actually truly got a vision. I had a vision for the future of what I wanted to accomplish in this life. First little inklings were like some artistic shit, and that was quickly swept under the rug, because I was like, no, there's no way that would never work. A business would work so much more. That artist shit is just kind of like once in a every while. Not everybody gets to do that, whatever. And I fell down the hustle culture side, like David Goggins, all this, Alex Hormozy, all these people. And I spent like a year and a half digesting all of this research and learning about business, so on and so forth. And at the end of it, I realized this isn't really what I want to do, is start a fucking tech company or do some shit like this. It's not really my favorite thing to do. I really love art and music, and not just one genre of art, multi genres of like painting and building and all this different shit. I love all of it. And what I kept coming up to this dilemma of like a brick wall between both of them, between art and between business, where it was like, oh, they don't really mix. And once you start taking in this business side, all this art just seems to ruin the art whenever you put too much of a business focus on it. Or as well as when you start focusing too much on the art, I just feel like I'm not really getting anything done. And I had a problem meshing the two together. And I've finally broken through that wall. And pretty much the way I go about that is taking the work ethic from like the hustle culture shit and putting it directly into the art. Because whenever I go full be free, go with the flow art mode, faggy shit, I don't really get much done. I seem to just get a song done. I watch like a person's interview, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll get a song done, then I'll chill, and then I'll wait for the inspiration to come to me. No, that's not how everybody works. And I feel like a lot of people getting into making art feel like that's the way it should be, when realistically, people have different levels of work ethics. Certain people, you can put them on like I work construction as a general contractor, and I build houses for people. You can put one person on a job site, and he might not be able to get that much done. He's kind of slow, sluggish. People call him lazy, whatever. Then you get another person, and he gets 10 times the amount done than that other person did. Now, this is a very cut and dry example, but I feel like those are two types of people I want to look at. Where one I would label like this, like inspiration, artistic, traditional, stereotype, faggy person. The words are very brash. Or like this hustle culture, David Goggins, always on his shit. And I bounce back and forth, but I'm more tend towards the latter, towards the David Goggins type thing. Whenever I'd make music in the past, I'd make a song in a day. It'd be pretty good. And I'm like, oh man, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Or I'd make a YouTube video every single day for months on end and clip them all up. And I'd be like, oh man, I feel like I'm still not doing enough. And I'd be like, well, all these other people say this is all they really do and they got successful. And it doesn't work for me. And I feel like there's a lot of people like that where that won't work for them. They have to blend the two. They have to blend this work ethic into the art. And I promise you that you can truly blossom with that. Because most of the artists who when they first start out, from watching hundreds of hours of different super successful artist interviews from everyone from Brian May to fucking Tame Impala to every single Rick Rubin podcast I could find, what I've found is most people who are successful in art, they create 10 to 20 times more than they consume anything. They get good at it because they get an obsession with something. An obsession with learning the guitar. An obsession with learning the drums. An obsession with learning how to make beats. They get an obsession where that's all they do in their free time. And the thought of just sitting around watching fucking a Netflix TV show does not fancy them as much as they would want to go and pick up their instrument and just play for hours over some sort of backing track or something. And that, to me, once I understood that, it immediately blended the two together. Because no longer was this little artist stereotype of waiting for inspiration and just sitting around the truth. Because once they come into their own and they're successful artists and they've made money from it or may have proof that they can do it for a career, then that's when they can start becoming this faggy artist type, if you will. The one that just waits for inspiration and goes with the flow. But in the beginning, most of them became successful because they were just fucking grinding. Nirvana and all these people, they were not just sitting around on a couch waiting for shit to happen. They were literally playing shows all the fucking time, getting better, honing their craft. So, to sum it all up, take the fucking meat from the hustle culture and put it into this art. And I promise you that is where success comes from. Stop overindulging in content and things like that. And just fucking grab the shit by the balls and make it happen with art. It is very possible and you don't have to wait for inspiration or motivation or anything. You can force this shit. I promise you, you can force this shit. So, if you enjoyed this, from now on, here on out, this channel has always been very self-improvement based, but I feel like self-improvement, the biggest problem with it is they don't focus at all on art. That was what always drew me away from self-improvement. I'd be really deep into it, and then it'd be like, well, nobody really applies this to art. It's all just like, make a business, make a fucking entrepreneur business. And it's like, yeah, but I don't have any ideas for a business, but I have thousands of ideas a day for art and creative ventures. Yeah, business is creative, but do I really want to drop shit a pair of fucking underwear for cats? Or sell some cunt coin to some fag online so 20 other people lose out and I make a bunch of money? To me, that's just bullshit. Fuck all that. I want to be a fucking artist. I want to be a David Bowie. I want to be a Picasso. I want to be a Da Vinci. I want to do this. I believe in myself fully. And I've found the keys to stay motivated, if you will. Stay disciplined. That's a better word with this shit. So follow me along with this. From here on out, I'm going to find new creative different ways to inspire young artists out there and mix this years of mix these years of indulging in the hustle culture business work ethic that I've developed into this art, and we will grow and prosper. I have a podcast I do with one of my boys who is interested in the same thing I am into. We upload this weekly. It's called Come Up Conversations. You can find it on YouTube. I'm going to try to get it on Spotify. I'm going to try to mass upload all of my shit like I have in the past. At one point, I was uploading like 350 videos a week, as well as working this construction shit. And now I'm going to be trying to do the art, do the podcast, do all this shit all at once. So follow along, like, comment, subscribe, whatever queer shit YouTubers say, and fuck with your boy. Chase paper, enjoy art and nature, old son, and have a great day.